In 1756, a tragic event unfolded that would echo throughout history. A dark moment of human suffering and the brutal reality of colonial power. The Black Hole of Calcutta, an event so horrifying, it would leave a permanent mark on the British Empire and forever change the course of history in India. Today, we explore the mystery, the tragedy, and the lasting legacy of the Black Hole of Calcutta. By the mid-18th century, the British East India Company had established a strong presence in India. Calcutta, now Kolkata, was a vital port for the company, an economic hub for trade and commerce. But it was also a region of tension between the British and local rulers. The Nawab of Bengal, Siraj-ud-Dowla, ruled over Bengal, and the British presence in the region was beginning to pose a threat to his power. In 1756, tensions reached a breaking point. The British East India Company had fortified their position at Fort William in Calcutta, angering the Nawab. In retaliation, Siraj-ud-Dowla attacked the British garrison, taking control of the fort in June of that year. But it wasn't just a military conquest. It was an act of humiliation for the British, who were now forced to surrender. After the British surrendered, a number of them were taken captive. The most notorious event of the siege, however, took place on the night of June 20, 1756. Around 146 British prisoners, including both soldiers and civilians, were locked into a small, overcrowded, and poorly ventilated cell, later known as the Black Hole. The exact details of the event remain shrouded in mystery, and the number of victims is disputed. Some accounts say that around 40 people died, while others claim as many as 146 lost their lives that night. But what is known is that the conditions were appalling, overcrowded, suffocating, and intensely hot. The prisoners were crammed into a small room, barely big enough to hold a few people. The temperature in the cell was unbearable, and with little air circulating, the prisoners suffocated in the sweltering heat. Those who did survive were left severely weakened by dehydration and exhaustion. The scene was one of pure horror. The aftermath of the Black Hole was devastating. The British, outraged by the deaths of their countrymen, used the event as a rallying cry. The tale of the Black Hole quickly became one of the most dramatic examples of the cruelty the British claimed to have suffered under the hands of the Nawab of Bengal. British officials, such as the governor of Bengal, were determined to seek revenge. Soon after, Robert Clive, a British officer, led an expedition to retake Calcutta, resulting in the Battle of Plassey in 1757. This victory was pivotal, as it secured British control over Bengal, which would later become a significant part of the British Raj. However, the Black Hole of Calcutta remains a deeply controversial event. While it has been widely accepted as a symbol of British suffering, some historians question the accuracy of the accounts, especially given the propaganda value it held for the British Empire. The earliest reports came from John Zephaniah Holwell, the British official who survived the ordeal. Holwell's account painted a vivid picture of the horrors, but some critics argue that it was exaggerated to garner support for British military action in the region. There is even some debate over whether the event was truly a mass tragedy or whether it was merely a small-scale incident blown out of proportion for political gain. Some suggest that the prisoners' deaths may have been accidental, or that the Black Hole was not a deliberate act of cruelty, but simply a byproduct of a chaotic and poorly managed siege. Nonetheless, the death toll remains a grim reminder of the realities of colonial conflict. The legacy of the Black Hole of Calcutta is complex. For the British, it became a powerful symbol of victimization, helping to justify their continued domination over India. The event became a rallying cry for British soldiers and a central part of the British narrative about their imperial mission. For the people of India, however, the Black Hole became a symbol of British tyranny, adding fuel to the growing resentment towards colonial rule. It would be many years before India gained independence, but the event would be remembered as a key moment in the long and painful history of British colonialism. The Black Hole of Calcutta is a reminder of the horrors of war, the brutality of colonialism, and the suffering that often goes unseen in the history books. Whether it was a true atrocity or a tale exaggerated for political gain, The event remains a tragic chapter in the history of the British Empire and India's fight for independence. Thank you for watching. If you found this video thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into history's darkest moments.